Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Daily Dan blog. Today I got a good stuff treat for you guys. I know my friend Dave Sunstorm's going to call this the good stuff. I found a Charlie's Angels comic book from 2019. But it's not just any Charlie's Angels comic book. It's the only one I ever seen where Charlie's Angel teams up with the Bionic Woman. That's right. It's a crossover. You know, a while back I did a Charlie's Angels comic book. That's right, in 2018, Charlie's Angels were revamped based on the original series with this really cool comic book run. You can see me review the very first Charlie's Angels revamped comic book here on the Daddy Dan blog. It's up. So in all their wisdom, after releasing a Charlie's Angels revamped episode comic book based on the original series, they thought it'd be a good idea maybe to team them up with the Bionic Woman.
Upon a time, there were three little girls who went to the police academy.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I'm going to play too much of that theme song because we all know what that'll get you on YouTube, right? I don't need no copyright claims over a comic book video today. Well, anyway, these were Charlie's Angels. They were played by Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and I don't think Cheryl Ladd's on this. I like Cheryl Ladd. Cheryl Ladd was one of my favorites. She was on Charlie's Angels too, but she wasn't in the original series. Right. Right, Dave? Because we had Jacqueline Smith. I like Jacqueline Smith, too. She was probably my favorite angel. Yeah, I'm sorry for giving the intro the silent treatment. It's not like doing a movie comic or something. I'm just not real sure about this Charlie's Angels theme or the Bionic Woman theme. I've never run them on a channel, and I don't want to risk a copyright strike. But you remember the Bionic Woman, right? Lindsay Wagner? That's right. It's top secret. And the Bionic Woman, that was one of my favorite TV shows back in the day. I was more of a $6 million man guy, you know, Steve Austin. I thought Lindsay Wagner was like a little skinny, you know, and a little weak looking to be the Bionic Woman, but I guess that just kind of added to it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I was a big Oscar fan, too. Well, that's about as good as it's going to get, bro. Little tell you about it intro. I can tell you that Charlie's Angels was a TV series that ran from 1976 to 1981 for 5 seasons. Charlie's Angels starred Jacqueline Smith, Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and my favorite later on, Cheryl Ladd, and of course David Doyle. And Bionic Woman was a 1976 to 78 TV series starring Lindsay Wagner. So, I guess that's about all we need to know. Right, Dave? Did I do a good job on that, Dave? Okay, let's bust it open, take a look inside this dismal nightmare and see how bad it gets. And inside the front cover, we get the usual schmill. And this is the story of the time Charlie's Angels teamed up with the Bionic Woman. And it starts out right in the middle of crap. So in this number 4 dismal comic book with some really sad-looking art, I'm already disappointed in the art in this book because this is supposed to be Jamie Summers and she looks like Buffy the freaking Vampire Slayer. Well, apparently what's going on in 1, 2, and 3 that I missed is Charles Townsend has been kidnapped. The Charlie's Angels are being blackmailed into finding a object that the OSI has in his possession. That's right, the Angels enlist the help of the Bionic Woman to help retrieve the object because she knows OSI real well. The bad guy isn't happy. The bad guy's helping. It's like, we must have the object. So they are in training because that's what they do. So in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. You know, I just love saying that. We get to see our first look at Charlie's Angels. And look how they draw Farrah Fawcett. Would you look at that? Oh my God, makes me want to pull my hair out. In the first Charlie's Angels comic book series I reviewed, they looked a little more like Charlie's Angels. It's true, they did. Anyway, Charlie's Angels are talking it over with Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, Jamie Summers. Yep, they're talking over how they can retrieve the item to help get Charlie back. And right in the middle of this comic book, they gonna throw in some commercials, because it's a Dynamite comic, and Dynamite loves commercials. They're the most commercial-laden comic books you're ever gonna find. But they do have Vampirella in all her gorgeous glory. And you can find all kinds of really cool Vampirella comic books on the shelves now. I really like Vampirella. You can see my Vampirella comic book reviews here on the Daily Dan Blog. So in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog, we get back to the excitement. And the excitement is Charlie's Angels teaming up with Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, as they're going to sneak into OSI headquarters in an attempt to retrieve the object. That we have no clue what the object is, because they're not going to tell you what the object is, apparently. I guess they told you that in number 2 or 3, but we don't know in this one. Anyway, here they go. They're heading off. They done smuggled the Charlie's Angels in the trunk. Boy, that's classic, ain't it? They rolling into the OSI headquarters through the back door. It's really easy when you got a Bionic Woman to jimmy some doors. Yep, they're on a mission. They're trying to locate the object. As Farrah cries over the object. So Charlie's Angels are bumbling and stupid like Scooby, like Shaggy and Scooby, bumbling around the back of the OSI headquarters trying to locate where the object's hid, while Farrah and Jamie Summers attempt to find Oscar Goldman to fill him in on what's going on, but Oscar's all like, I missed him. Oscar don't know what's going on. We must tell Oscar what's happening, or this could be a problem. Yeah, you'd think Oscar Goldman would have been the first person Jamie called, right? Anyway, they're all sneaking and creeping, and then they locate the vault. They have located the keys. That's right, they got the keys. They're trying to open the vault. They're going in, but check out this decryption code. What the hell? I can't even pronounce that word. Decryption code device, where you have to put in a series of letters to open this safe. That could be a problem unless you got maybe a Bionic Woman. Finally, after a little searching, Jamie Summers runs into Oscar Goldman. She quickly fills him in on the kidnapping situation and fills him in on the plot of the story. Yeah, and he reminds her of the time, hey, remember that time I saved your life in the jungle there, Oscar? You owe me one for pulling you and your goopy friends out of that fire, so I need your help. We must save Charles Townsend. So once again, it's time for a commercial. And Deja Thoris, and that's like the female Thor, I suppose, with some really, oh my God, some really great art, Dave. Don't you agree? This could be some of the best art I've ever seen in a comic book. I'm going to look for a copy of that comic book. Told you I was a big fan of the $6 Million Man. Check it out. That's an original $6 Million Man action figure. I also got the Rudy Wells. That's a doctor to fix up the Bionic Man whenever he has a Bionic meltdown. Check it out. Rudy's doing a little Bionic tuning up right now. But you know what the cool part is? Check him out. I got the Oscar Goldman in his really cool 70s suit. I think he's wearing the same one in the comic book. Anyway, Oscar Goldman does not look like Oscar Goldman in the comic book. This action figure from the 1970s looks more like Oscar Goldman. Don't you agree? I like the little Oscar Goldman action figure myself. So Oscar flips on Jamie, and they have a little toss, a little tumble, and Jamie has to kick his ass. Yep, it's true. Oscar almost bought the farm as Jamie put a whooping on him to try to convince him that Townsend must be saved. I guess now's as good a time as any to break it down and give the special shout-outs to all my good stuff buddies. Let me give a super shout-out to Dave Sunstorm, the leader of our good stuff community, and his incredible brother, Steven Sunstorm. My main man, my partner in crime, Thrash, Pondo Pons, Pons will save every one of us. And Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV. Be sure to check out Pat here on YouTube. And thanks, Pat, for letting me use your music in all my live streams, which I hadn't done in quite a while. And let me give a few honorable mentions to BK on the Air, Big Guys 45's Corey's Comedy Channel, My Block is Everywhere, The Nostalgic Podcast, and my girl, Retro Nerd Girl. Yeah, see, I made a list. Ain't that cool? See, I made a list of some of the good stuff, guys, this time. Which, when you're doing one of these Dynamite short books, you gotta do everything you can to make it last 7 minutes, don't you? Well, I got over 7 on kind of some crappy previews at the beginning, I guess. Anyway, Jamie makes a deal with Oscar. So after explaining the situation to Charles, Townsend has been kidnapped, and they need the item in the vault to trade to get Charles back. Oscar agrees to help, but he don't want to know much about what's going on. And suddenly, as he goes in to help them enter the code to open the vault to get the item, he says, "There's more of you. Where? And I don't want to know who you are, because the less I know about you, the better off it is," right? Anyway, Oscar enters the code. He enters the code to open the vault. And as the vault swings open, Charlie's Angels go in to retrieve the item. And, of course, we're going to end this comic book by not knowing what the item is, having no clue what the item is, and, oh, my God, I cannot tell you how much I really despise this comic book. I wished I had number 1, 2, and 3 so I'd know exactly what was going on. The few things I gathered, I learned by reading the Dynamite Dispatch. That's right. You can read the Dynamite Dispatch to get all your current information you need about comics back in 2019. Oh, my God, this is going to hurt. It couldn't hurt much worse than sitting through the comic book I just had to review, I don't suppose. Well, anyway, you get some more previews for some more garbage that you can find in Dynamite. You can even order you a boy's shirt, which is something they sold in Dynamite Comics in 2019. You're right, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt your wallets and your mind. Oh, my God, here's a piece of crap I missed. It's Kiss. Kiss versus Zombies. You know, I'm going to have to find this comic book. I've done quite a few Kiss comics here on the Daily Damn Blog. You can check them out. Yeah, there's quite a few Kiss comics. And, of course, it's The Vengeance of Vampirella, because Dynamite's number 1 selling smut is Vampirella. Did I say that out loud? And you can always count on Dynamite Comics to put just as many commercials and full-page ads in their comics as they do comics material. And here's the chaos that is chastity, whatever. You can pronounce it. And then you get Black Terror. Oh, okay. And then you can see the really cool Charlie's Angels covers that I missed. Well, that's the one I want right there. Now, that's a really cool Charlie's Angels Bionic Woman cover. Look how they used to use pictures, maybe, and it looks more realistic. I don't know, but, yeah. I'm going to have to look for that comic book. Don't you agree? And get your ink pens and paper out. Start with Kevin Smith and write all these names down. That's right. Write all these names down. And then, once you write all these names down, you can write Dynamite Comics and tell them how about putting a little bit more story in your comic books, and a little bit better art wouldn't hurt. And they wrap the end cover with some James Bond stuff. Well, if you like James Bond, I guess that's pretty cool. I've never bought a James Bond comic book. I'll have to look for one. So that's my dismal trip back to 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. Where I checked out Charlie's Angels meets the Bionic Woman in comic book number 4 of a short-run series that has horrible art, a hard-to-understand story, and way too many commercials. I bought it 110% for that really cool cover. And I can't wait to hang on the wall, but I want the other cover more. I'm going to hang it right by that Charlie's Angels up there on the wall, so they kind of go together. And it's also the only Bionic Woman I've ever seen or had in my possession, so it kind of makes me happy for that cover. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that stupid little bell. And join me next week when I promise you it'll get 100 times worse. You know, Valentine's Day's coming. Oh, my God. So for Valentine's Day, I guess I'll do a love story. Not that one. Probably one of these pieces of crap. Oh, my God. Blog over, dudes.